friend, welcome back to the Maintenance YouTube channel. Are you interested to see how the worn, old and used brake rotor, this is of 2001 Tacoma, can be nicely refurbished, right, resurfaced and used again? If you are, stay with me in this video. Now, before starting any work, right, investing any time in it, I have to determine if that rotor even can be safe. And I'm regarding here to the minimum thickness. I believe this rotor came of 2001 Toyota Tacoma, which means when it was brand new, it was 22 millimeter thick, and the minimum allowed thickness, it's 20 millimeters. I will use this micrometer, right? Where is the scale? Right here. I will use this ratcheting mechanism, and it's showing me that it's a 21.11 millimeters. Hopefully you can see it right here. That means it's worth investing time in it, and I can go ahead and resurface it. Before I will start using brake lathe and start putting it in, I need to make sure these surfaces are perfectly clean. It's this one and the inner one. So really the number one is start cleaning this. So now I know this is perfectly smooth, right? Both surfaces. Now I'm finally at the brake lathe. This is actually ACCU-TURN model 8944. I have to select the correct backing plate, and I believe this rotor is too big for this one. So I will put it on the side right now, and I will try this one. Again, it's because the size of that rotor. Now I need a centering cone. The number 3 will be probably too small. As you can see right here, it goes through. So that means it's a number 4, right? It's this centering cone. I will use my spring. In this case, I need a bigger one, which is right here. All right, I will put a centering cone on it. And here finally comes the rotor, right? And you see that helps to get it in the center, yet it will nicely touch that backing plate. Here comes the second part, right? Install that rotor nicely. I will find the spacer, ideally this one, and I'm ready to start installing the nut. The nut is the opposite thread, right? And now comes the really important part. I want to make sure that the rotor is absolutely perfectly sitting there. So while I'm tightening this nut, right, with this wrench, I keep turning this, that it nicely seats itself on this arbor. I will make it nicely tight, which I have right now. That's fantastic. And I believe this rotor is in perfect position because I took the time with those plates. Let's see, let's put the lathe on, right? And let's see if it's true. And just looking at it by the eye, I don't see any hopping or jumping this way and so on, so I believe I can proceed. Now I need to bring my 2 knives, the cutting tips, right, nicely around that rotor. So I will use my controls here on this side, right? I will open this, open away these cutting knives, and I will try to perfectly have it centered, that this is nicely right in the middle, which I believe I'm pretty close right now. After that, I can use these manual controls and bring these two knives approximately 1/2 inch or 1 inch from the outside diameter in. And before I will start any cutting, I will install this vibration dampener. It's a rubber band with the lead weights on it, and that eliminates a horrible squealing which we will otherwise hear through this entire building, right? So this is fantastic. And I can go ahead and start with the first so-called scratch cut. I will start the lathe and I will bring each of those knives slowly towards to the rotor until it starts hitting it. It just happened. I will do it on the other side carefully. You don't rush this. You will hear it. And now I can stop the machine and evaluate that scratch cut. And I'm pretty sure you can see that fresh cut right here, right? And what I'm doing with that scratch cut, I'm making sure that it's touching at least 50% of the diameter of the rotor. If it wasn't, that will mean I probably incorrectly installed it here and I will have to redo it. But if you look from me, this is untouched, or barely, I will say untouched from here to here. Well, that's probably 25% and 75% was touched. I know I can proceed with this operation. Now I will make a note, I will remember what I have on my settings here. Now I can start the brake lathe again in that rotor setting. Right? You can see the knives are not touching, and I will manually bring them towards to the inside of the rotor. Again, you have to be careful here, don't rush it, you don't want to hit anything and break something, right? And I carefully reached inside of that rotor, and I will go for my first fast cut. So I will go and move it back to my settings, right, where I had it, which is right actually here. That was a number 4, and then I go tiny bit more inside. 1, 2, 3, 4 smallest increments on this mark, and I will do exactly the same on the other side. I'll remove my light, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And I'm ready almost for my first cut. I will lock these arms, and now I'll show you the next step. I will turn the camcorder, right? I will let go of this, but I will change the speed of cut on the half, because I want to cut it twice. This will be my fast cut, so I'm putting this on kind of fast movement. I let go, and this machine starts moving these knives towards to me. And as I said, if this is faster, the cut is more rough. When I will be doing the second cut, hopefully only 2, I will slow down this wheel way more. It will be like almost 4 times slower. You will see later. It's done here by the control. Now let's observe the knife together, right, how it's cutting. I will try to show you a detail of it by zooming on that. And this is my first fast cut, and I'm basically just making sure that I don't have any very low spots on that, right, because sometimes it happens. Some rotors are in very bad shape. They have a very low spot, and therefore you cannot be here forever. cutting it 5 times on the slow speed. Now, I want to mention the size of the shaving. They are a large size, and that's affected by the depth of the cut and also speed of the movement. So these two factors are relatively, right, making relatively large shaving. I saw people who will cut so brutally the shavings will be 4 times bigger, which of course was wrong, but whatever, that's what they were doing, and that's the way it is. Now, if you look with me, I already see low spot on that rotor. Do you see that area we passed already and there is still the darkness? That's our first low spot on this side. I would like you to observe the other side too, right? Different here. The low spot is actually way bigger. You can hear the knives are almost at the end. So we will be ready to start doing second and hopefully last cut. But maybe this rotor needs 3 cuts. And the knives just left the rotor, they are right there, right? I can manually remove them for a safe distance and we can evaluate how it looks, right? So if you look, there is a cut, but unfortunately there is a low spot which wasn't touched by those knives. But I tell you what, from my experience, what I saw, what I did in the past, this is pretty good, right? Because the low spot is very small. It's a little bit worse on the other side, I will show you, right? I don't want to be pretending anything here. I selected that depth, not very carefully, I guess, on the other side, because look, it's approximately 50-50, right? Low spot untouched, and 50% of that is nicely cut. So I have, unfortunately, more work left on this side. So I will go ahead, watching my settings here, right? And I will move the knives away from the rotor. Then I can manually, without even running it, bring those knives back. And I could try to do a second and last cut, but being me, I will rather go for 3 in this case, right? The area on the backing, it's 50-50. I will go already, I know I will go for 3 cuts. And I put additional 3 on this side and additional 4 smallest notches on the other side. I'm running the same speed, right? I'm not definitely running the highest speed. There's no need for it. I have time. I'm trying to show you how it works. The control here on the back is actually in the middle. So I'm right in the middle between the highest and lowest speed. Let's look in the detail again on those knives, right? How nicely they are cutting. It will be interesting if this cut will actually get rid of completely of those low spots, right? Here is the other side for you. You can see it. The shavings are relatively large. Right? It's all relative. As I said, I saw way bigger, which I don't agree with, but that's okay. As you can see, that second cut is already taking care of that very low spot on this side. That's a great news. I'm kind of relieved with that. Let's hope on the other side. How is it looking here? I don't see any low spot remaining so far either. Good news. Please cross fingers that it will be all the way perfectly clean. And look, thank you for crossing fingers. It's almost perfect, right? If I stop it, you can see that there is very just a little spot where it's tiny low. It's right here. But if I touch it, this rotor starting looking really good. And the other side is almost perfect too.